Chief, thank you for joining us this afternoon. The first round of questioning developed with the issue of how is the current system, some would argue broken, we would, impacting law enforcement in the Central Texas area.
Okay, first, for the record, I'm not a liberal from California, as a lot of Texans like to call me. I've been a moderate conservative person my entire life, so you can check my voting record if you'd like to see that, so I just want to get that out there. But being moderate or conservative doesn't mean you're not pragmatic, and from law enforcement's perspective, the way it's impacted us is twofold. Number one, the very divisive rhetoric that we've been having in our nation in the last few years has really created a fear amongst immigrants that whether you like it or not, they're here. I mean, you're not going to make 11 million people, 15 million people disappear overnight, A, and B, if you did, it would probably have a very negative impact on two things, our economy and our society, because you'd be splitting up a lot of families. So you might as well understand that from the get-go. When we create an environment of fear, we create an environment where people that are key, our number one force multiplier in law enforcement is the community that lives and resides in our jurisdictions. And when they fear coming forward, you lose opportunities to solve crimes, to disrupt crimes, or to disrupt the potentially the next 9/11 type issue. So what's really funny about this is that it's become a political debate instead of a good policy debate. And both parties are equally as guilty as charged. President Bush had a very pragmatic approach, so y'all remember that. And unfortunately, nobody wanted to help him with his immigration reform he was trying to really take forward, and 9/11 did not help, and we used that kind of as an excuse not to move forward. If you look at what the president is now proposing, a lot of it is almost the same exact thing. So I don't see what the problem is. You've got two presidents from two very different political backgrounds proposing comprehensive immigration reform because they realize that it's something that's important to us. And to me, when I have to waste my time at the legislature, not just a waste of time to the members, I love testifying in front of you, but when I have to spend an entire session last time trying to combat the anti-sanctuary city, which doesn't exist in Texas. You know, the only people that have sanctuary in this city are people who are law-abiding. And the only illegal immigrants we're not chasing right now are the cooks, the day laborers, who, by the way, if they're sitting, from my perspective, if they're outside the Home Depot hoping that you're going to pick them up while you're at work, I know they're not in your neighborhood burglarizing your homes while you're away, so I kind of like to see them over there where we know what they're actually trying to make a honest living. So from my perspective, I'm hoping that once and for all, that we as a nation look at good policy instead of trying to see what's the best politics. Right. You know, we're here to either talk about solutions and being leaders, or we're here to talk about politics. I think we need to focus on good policy, and if both parties do that, you can't really argue against comprehensive reform, so we can get back to the business of keeping people safe. Because whether you're legal or illegal, if you're selling drugs, if you're drunk driving, if you're beating your wife, if you're doing any of those things, we're coming after you. The only illegal immigrants that are left that have sanctuary are the ones that, but for their immigration status, are law-abiding residents. And there is no value in taking our very precious resources in law enforcement and try to get us to start chasing the nanny. That does absolutely nothing for public safety, and for somebody to tell me it does, I dare them to tell me to say that with a straight face. It's hogwash. And lastly, and again, a moderate to conservative guy my entire career, and I use this, if we really wanted to pass immigration reform last year, a party that was my party, and probably is, you figure it out, I'm a conservative, moderate guy, had this is just a bill to you why I think it's BS. There was a party last session that was really advocating for anti-sanctuary. They had all these bills. Who's in the governor's mansion? Lieutenant Governor, Speaker of the House, supermajority party in the Senate, almost supermajority in the House of Representatives. How many bills passed? Zero, because despite the rhetoric, public policy and good policy calls for us to enact once and for all comprehensive immigration reform and be pragmatic about the situation we're facing.
And I think that's a tribute to the leaders, many of whom we have in the audience, that none of that legislation passed. And I think that's true over actually 3 sessions, which I think is pretty amazing when you compare us
to the majority.
Right.
Because although the rhetoric was, my hat's off to the majority, because although the rhetoric was out here for some of the people that, you know, people are angry, at the end of the day, good public policy was more important than really feeding, you know, whatever people are looking for. Right. So my hat's out to everybody. But just the process is tiring because I get the hate mail when I come in, you know. So I hope this time around that as a moderate to conservative guy, that we really focus on good policy.
And clearly, the solutions are going to have to be nonpartisan nature if we are going to be successful in Washington, D.C. Both parties, as you correctly pointed out, in the past have had positions, some of them, not all of them, that would lead to a solution, and hopefully we're able to do that.